It's a rip-off! Somebody's gonna sue! Na 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 na. I'm just kidding. Welcome to Toon'd, where I review cartoons, no matter how new, no matter how old, no matter the cost. Once again, I am Josh the Fox Mills, and today I am fulfilling a promise that I made a long time ago in my Astro Boy review. I think that was my fourth actual episode of Toon'd. But anyway, yeah, I said I was going to talk about this show, and here I am, a man of my word. Kimba the White Lion was of course a Japanese cartoon. One of the first animes ever made. Astro Boy was the first. But Kimba the White Lion was the first color anime ever made. Created by the same person. Osamu Tezuka is a legend. Created not only Astro Boy, but also Kimba the White Lion, and several other shows, and has often been named the Walt Disney of Japan. I'm just going to get one thing out of the way right now. There is a long-running controversy, long-running claim that Disney took Kimba the White Lion and turned it into the Lion King. I'm not going to be covering that controversy. There is a much... everyone covers that controversy. Everyone covers that controversy. And there are people who have made videos all about it that cover it a lot better than I ever could. Yesterworld Entertainment, for example. I made an amazing video. If you're interested in that whole controversy, they cover all the facts. They made a great video about it. I recommend you check out Yesterworld Entertainment on YouTube if you're interested in that controversy. I'm not going to be covering that. I am only going to be looking at the history and influence on animation. I'm going to focus on Kimba and leave Simba out of it. With that out of the way, let's move on. Kimba the White Lion, or Jungle Emperor as it was known in Japan, was originally a comic book manga series that ran from November 1950 to April 1954. An anime was created by Mushi Production and was broadcast on Fuji Television from 1965 to 1967. As I mentioned, it was the first color animated series in Japan to ever air. So huge historical relevance there. Mr. Tezuka took a lot of history for himself. Not saying that's bad, but he made the first anime, then the first color anime. Only natural. The show follows Leo, or Kimba in the English dub, who was born on a ship after his father was killed by human hunters. Leo escapes the ship and returns to the jungle to claim his rightful place as King of the Beasts, and attempts to bridge the gap between humans and animals through communication and mutual understanding. In 1967, the original Jungle Emperor theatrical release was awarded the St. Mark's Silver Lion Award at the 19th Venice International Film Festival. Like Astro Boy before it, Kimba the White Lion helped to forge the culture of Japanese animation that was to follow. And on a side note, as I mentioned, Mr. Tezuka was considered the Walt Disney of Japan. Him and Walt actually met at the 1964 New York World's Fair, where Walt actually told Mr. Tezuka that he'd hoped to make something just like Astro Boy. Fun little bit of trivia there. At times, the writing for Kimba was a little campy and silly, but just like Astro Boy. But if you take the time to respect your elders and push that aside, a little bit of forgiveness, you'll find that it's probably worth your time to check out. And Kimba's been rebooted a couple times with a new television special that premiered in 2009. It's definitely worth checking out for the more modern take of the characters. Ultimately, whether you like Kimba or Simba, both are worth checking out. Both are worth seeing which one it fits your taste more. Because they are similar, but different enough to have an actual varied experience. And both had affected their own cultures in dramatic ways that forged the future of animation in those countries. And worldwide. I apologize, this episode is a little bit dry and a little bit short. But there really wasn't much to talk about without going into controversy, and I ultimately refused to do so. But a promise was a promise. I said I'd get around to reviewing Kimba the White Lion, and here I am. So until my next topic here on Toon'd In, I'll see you around. Until then, though, viewers, stay tuned.